Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to our second Q&A, right? This is our second one?
Hey, your second.
Yeah. What do you mean my second? You did the last one with me too. Yeah, we did one together last year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, so today we're doing our second one. Sergey is here, and then I'm going to be making an arrangement because I feel like I need pretty flowers indoors. And I went scavenging and got everything from our garden except the carnations. So you guys submitted your questions in our community posts. So I'm just gonna go down the list and we're going to try to answer as many as we can without keeping you here all day, because you know me, I will talk all day. All right, first question came from Night Plants 9556, and your question is, any chance of going back to Dan's garden and film all their conifers and names? So yes, we are going back to Dan's garden in the springtime. We got to do so many cool garden tours this year. And sometimes you just get so excited that you forget to ask those important questions like plant names. And there's just so much to cover, but we will be back in Dan's garden this spring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I would hope so.
Yeah, no, we are. We already talked to them and...
Yeah, I think like, at least from like a filming perspective, it's like you're focusing on trying to get a good shot, right? Where you don't even think of enjoying the plant or knowing what they are. You're just trying to show it all. And there's so much to show the first time around.
Right.
So I think definitely has to be a second, third, maybe time, at least once per season, you know?
Right.
Because you really got to show the viewers and us like
everything.
Everything.
So yes, we will be back in Dan's garden. All right, next question came from Jennifer Lubecki, 2953, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced some of the names. Your question is, do you have a goal to move to a larger property and garden? Yes, we've had the goal for, I don't even know how long. We got the house a few years back, 4 years back probably at this point, and we are ready to move. We need more space.
So I'm like thinking, like, when did we really start driving around and looking at farmland? Like, you know, that's something we like to do. We just like to drive around and through the countryside and just look. You know, we're not even window shopping, but just like we love the drive. And I'm trying to remember, like, when was that? That was more than 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, because we were doing that when I was doing my undergrad. When I was trying to go to dental school. That's a long story.
And I think it's like as of recent that we're realizing that we need to expand.
Right.
There's only so many times you can flip the garden.
Yeah, there's only
until it becomes like just rude.
Yeah, offensive. Yeah, because we have a habit of moving trees and shrubs and everything around. So yeah, I think we've reached that point where we're like, okay, we want to finish, this garden. Yeah, we definitely are ready to move. So yes. And in terms of the time frame, I think the sooner the better. Ideally, I think what, a year or two? I mean, if it was up to us, it'd be like 6 months from now, but it's probably not going to happen 6 months from now.
I would have been gone yesterday.
Yesterday we were packed and ready to go. But
I don't need to be packed. Just give me the truck keys and I'm out.
You're out. You're like, peace out.
I'll send for my things.
I'll send for my trees and my dahlias.
You always say, I'm going to send for my dahlias.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll send for my things.
So I think, I think our dream is like within a year or two. But,
I mean, if the opportunity is right, hopefully it's sooner, but whatever
God has planned for us, I think. All right, next question came from Katie at Rain or Shine Gardening, and her question is, I love this question, what's one thing you can always count on agreeing on in the garden, and what's one thing you can count on always having different opinions about?
You want me to start? Because I think we both have completely different answers.
Okay, well, I think agreeing will probably be, we can fit that somewhere. Right? Like, we'll buy plants and we'll say, we can fit it somewhere.
So first off, shame on you. That was my answer. Okay, go ahead.
And then I think in terms of what we disagree on, probably style of gardening, I would say. Like, I like things touching and hugging each other, and Sergey likes to have spaces between plants. Like he wants to be able to see the bare mulch and like gaps between plants where I don't. I want to see everybody hugging one another, like they're all family and friends in the garden. That's what my thought is that we would disagree on.
So, okay, me, huh? Since you took my response, I think what we agree on is, it kind of goes in with what you said, kind of like the unique, rare, and fun things. Whether that's your dahlias or some new flower you want to grow or a tree that I fell in love with and I want to get, I think that is something we agree on. If it's special, we need it, we want it. What do you think?
I think so.
And then what we don't agree, well, that's a whole different episode right there.
This could be a whole episode, actually.
No, I think me wanting to kind of step in and help with certain things, and you're very particular with those certain things. Like, it's kind of like, right, you say you want things touching, and I want things neat and organized, okay? It's kind of like that. I want to help out, and I want to come in and prune up or trim up your dahlias, get some airflow going, remove some, like, damaged or, wilty branches, and I feel like you want to do those things. You want to attend to your loved ones, right?
Right.
And but you're also like really you got so much going on with your flowers that you don't always find the time for that. And me, on the other hand, is like, just let me do it. Like, let me do it. And I think that is a issue.
Yeah, I think we do disagree on that a lot, because you always do want to step in, and I'm always like, no.
Well, I think even this like past couple of days, we've been doing a lot of cleanup, and I know Claudia's been trying to keep some of the annuals, like, and they're holding on. They haven't wilted away or died. They're still holding on. But for me, it's like, I don't know, time to let them go. Like, they're not blooming, like no color. They're just greenery, and they're holding so many leaves that drives me crazy. So I just want to like yank them out. And she's like, no, I'll get to it later. I just let it grow a little more and let it fill in, whatever your excuse is. So the other day, like the last time before the rains came in, she was inside, and I was outside by myself just tearing things out. And I'm like, I hope this is an annual, really. See, the way I saw it is like, if I grab it and it just breaks at the root, then I think it is good to go.
Yeah.
Because if it was like a perennial or something, worth keeping, it shouldn't break like that.
Right. Yeah, I would say so. Good answers. And look, we didn't fight. That's good, because I honestly thought you and I would go head to head on that one. Let's see. Maynard Greenhouse. Your question is, did you both love gardening before you met? And what does Sergey do for work besides hauling boulders by hand and being your videographer? So I think we did get a couple of questions about that, about our profession. So we both have a regular 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, corporate jobs. We both work in data and analytics, different areas, but data and analytics. And then in terms of the gardening question, I think I've always loved flowers. In fact, it's funny because I was just looking at some of my old notebooks from like middle school and high school and even college, and I just see doodles of flowers everywhere. Like, just everywhere I was doodling flowers, which makes sense how I got here now. But anyways, so I was always into flowers, but I didn't garden a lot. I always admired my grandma in the garden. So when I was little, I grew up in Brazil until I was about 8 years old before we moved to the US. And my grandma, like, she has a big love for gardening. So I think it kind of started with her. And then when we bought the house, we were growing a bunch of things in pots. And then we really got into it, like, right during the pandemic. So I'd say about 5 years ago, we really got into it. And you also, I mean, you can tell your story, but even when you were a little boy in Ukraine, your parents grew a lot of vegetables. And so you were kind of in the garden.
I mean, Ukraine, I garden-wise, I don't really remember. I remember the goats. I remember the ducks. But no, not much about the garden. I know here in the U.S. when that's really where I think my hate for gardening uh, started, because you're a kid and all you want to do is play, but your mom and dad have you pulling weeds, right? So and you know me, like me in my bucket. That was from day one. I always wanted to find the easier way of doing it, and they're like, no, there's no easy way of doing it. You just gotta take that knife and cut it at the root and pull it out one by one by one. And I was like, I wasn't having it.
Right.
Like I started to rebel. No, but I think as like I did a lot of just like work with my brother, just other helping like friends and family out, where a lot of like garden related things, whether it's just cleanup or transplanting a tree or planting a tree. And I remember like one of the last people that I did one of these projects for, it was a lot of having to like go pick up an order. He placed an order for some trees, and he wanted me to transplant a tree. And it was an Asian pear that he had me transplant. And he's like, he had me keep I got to keep that Asian pear, and it was, I remember, so beautiful. Do you remember we like had it planted in the corner, but we kind of messed up and planted it into too wet of soil?
Yep.
But and I at that point, like I fell in love with his like aesthetic for plants and trees. And
okay.
you remember, like I got like actually a couple of house plants from him, and we brought it into our house, like things like that. It was like fun memories that got me back into it. And of course, like I think the last 5 years, like right pre-pandemic or during the pandemic, we really kind of started to appreciate it.
Right.
To like a whole different level. Like it became like, no longer are you doing it for someone else, you're doing it for yourself.
Right.
And I think that's where the shift happens.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I was lost at that point, just because I had, when I really started getting into gardening, I really do feel like growing flowers and gardening like saved my life. Like it saved my sanity. It really did. And it was at that time that I was applying and wanting to go to dental school. And, I had been preparing my whole life for this. And I decided to make a huge career change and get into data, because I was at that time running a research lab and I fell in love with data. And so I wanted to explore that more. And then the pandemic happened, our lab got shut down, and all of these things started happening. And then I started to garden, and I thought, well, I'm just going to share my projects and progress with everybody. And then I wasn't doing it consistently on YouTube until my friend Janie at Dig Plant Water Repeat came, and she really got into my head about it. So we've been doing this for a year now, like consistently. But anyways, and then I think now it's just like a hobby that got out of control, and now I can't turn it off. And I don't like to say never, but I will never turn it off. Like gardening is my life.
I don't know why you didn't realize it sooner.
I know.
Because,
all of the signs were there.
Okay, we've been together for
a long time. 18.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And the funny thing is, like when I first met you, there are two things that I saw. She had this huge painting of what looked like now as I'm like, I know flowers somewhat. It looked more like a hibiscus, right? And then another one was like a smaller little portrait you painted. Looks just like a dahlia. I'm sure you didn't know what a hibiscus or a dahlia or anything really meant. The only thing I remember is her favorite flower when I met her was a tulip.
Yep.
So I always like made sure to get her tulips on whatever excuse I could find. But I mean, everything was there. Like, and how did you like even doubt or try or consider anything else? Like, that's what I don't get.
Right. Because I never thought like, I don't know. I never thought I would make a career out of it or try to make a career out of it. And so I don't know. I think I just feel really blessed that I get to do this. I just realized
I worked in flowers way before you did.
Yeah, and I was gonna say you used to work at a flower shop when you were in high school, right? Like 16?
middle school
Middle school,
or high
yeah.
school. I don't know. I kind of like volunteered in a flower shop along with my brother, and yeah, that was I don't know. That's actually kind of fun if I think about it.
Yeah.
Doing those arrangements and prepping the flowers, and not
Yeah.
that I remember anything from that time, but
Right. You don't remember
well, I
the
remember
rules.
just boxes and boxes of vases and flower foam, soaking the foam ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
fun.
funny. And now you married a flower girl.
There you go.
Okay, Holly Fleming 7737 asks, are you going to the garden show again next February? And what do you like to look for there aside from Dahlia tubers? So yes, we will definitely be going to the Northwest Flower Garden Show in February. And I'll probably post more about that, like where I will be on Instagram when we get closer to it.
I think we need to like put an air tag on you and make it public. So for all the viewers, if they need to find Claudia where she'll be, you can just, tap and watch.
That's funny because I'm all over the place at that show.
You'll be surprised. She'll be in one end in like 1 minute, the other end the other minute. You'll be like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
That's fun. So yes, I will be there. And then one of the things that I love to buy at the market or at the flower show is any like new tools. So if I see any like cool new snips that I haven't tried yet, I'll usually buy some garden equipment. And then the other thing that I love to buy there are antiques. So there are a couple of vendors that come out that have really beautiful antiques. And so I like to see like what they have. And then there's a lot of plant suppliers that come. So if there's something really interesting and fun, I will go and try to snag some of those plants. So those are probably the top 3 things I look for after Dahlias. Okay, next question is from Budget Gardening Vita. You ask, what are some of the first seeds that you start and in what month is that? So probably the first seeds that I start are going to be Lysianthus because they take forever to germinate or do anything. And you probably will start them and then nothing will happen. Like a month will go by and it's like barely something is happening and you think, all right, they're not germinating, but they are. And usually I will start those, if I'm really good at it, I will start them in January. You can also start them in February. Sometimes I push it and I start them later than I should, but really you wanna get those like in the trays as soon as possible because they take their sweet time to germinate. And then after that, it goes pretty quickly around March because we're going to be doing like our zinnias, our cosmos, our phlox. I mean, everything. We've done a lot of seed starting videos. I'm sure we'll do a lot this year. So yeah, but usually Lysianthus is going to be the first one I start. Next question is from Miroslava, 1985. And let's see, your question is, how did you guys meet? How did you 2 wonderful people meet? Thank you. We actually grew up going to elementary school, middle school, and high school together. And we actually had classes together in high school. And I remember not picking on him, but he did sit in my seat one time in one of our classes. And I was like, hey, you sat in my seat. And he's like, well, somebody else sat in my seat, so you have to sit somewhere else. And I of course, was the loud girl that was always being told by our teachers to go back to her seat.
Let me just clear things up a little bit. I remember coming to class and we had assigned seating, right? Somebody sat in my seat. Never happens. And I just found another seat, literally right behind, I think, right? It was like right behind the person.
Right.
And apparently that happened to be her seat.
Yep.
And this girl comes up to me and she was like, you sat in my seat. And I was just like, wait, since when do we care about that? I'm like, really?
I cared.
And then when we actually like officially got introduced to one another,
Yeah.
what was the first thing you said to me?
I said, hey, you're that kid that sat in my seat. And you said, oh,
she doesn't forget anything.
And he said,
she'll lose her phone and keys, wallet, card. Oh my God, the card. How many times have we replaced your card? Years later.
Yeah.
Amazing how your brain works.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very proud. And then officially my sister-in-law introduced us, like officially set us up together and the rest is history.
I remember she told me like, oh, I have a friend I want you to meet. Her name is Claudia, and I'm like, oh, I know a Claudia, and it was some other Claudia again, which is weird. Is that Claudia and this Claudia here? We both went to elementary school, middle school, and high school together, and yeah,
It's not
it's
funny.
weird.
Yeah. What are the odds? All right. Next question came from Gardening Little by Little. I love that. And
Oh,
your
that is adorable.
isn't that a cute?
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that name. And you ask, "Hi, do you have children? Do you have a second job? What are your plans for winter? Anyway, you and Sergey are so fun to watch and sharing ideas of the garden. Thank you so much. I'm so happy Sergey is not super shy anymore and is on camera with us now.
Oh no, I'm still super shy.
Yeah, you are.
But
But
I
you're
think
being
I've
a
said this
trooper.
before. Just don't look at the footage. Don't think that you've been filmed. Just move on with your life.
Just move on.
It's like, how's it different if people see me on the road walking versus people seeing me online?
That's true, exactly. And plus, you meet a lot of our subscribers at different events that we attend. In terms of, do we have children? We do not have children, but we are family planning. So yes, we definitely want kids. I want like 5. Okay, I just got huge. No, we're not gonna have 5. But yes, we are family planning, but we don't have kids at the moment. And then, of course, yes, we do have a second job, which we talked about. Let's see, what do we have planned for maybe the winter garden? I think that's what they're asking.
Well, winter plans, right?
Right.
Don't let the garden get dirty.
Yes.
I mean,
that's a big one.
It's like that's one thing I think we're trying better this year than last year. Is to stay on top of that cleanup. But I want to make winter a little bit more festive.
Okay.
And I think you did a great job with the front this year. And I want to keep that going with, that okay, looks great from this angle.
Doesn't it?
And I want to keep that going with like Christmas.
Okay.
But also what? Kind of plan, brainstorm. What is our next move?
Yeah, I think planning is definitely something that we do a lot in the winter time.
Because I think we have a lot of planning to do before
spring.
Yeah, like we have this like foundational work that we have to lay down before we kick off the fun in spring.
Yeah, and I think we will continue working on the side garden like little by little. Just are getting our ducks in a row.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a start to finish. Yeah, like we did with the planting strip or any other little project.
Yeah, but we are starting soon-ish. All right, next question comes from Qtessa-C6R. And your question is, hi, Claudia, do you feel there is a gap in the flower farming where you live? What about Hispanic flower farmers? I hope one day you can visit my hot mess of a garden. I ordered a bunch of dahlias for next year. Lord help me. He'll be fine. I promise
Lord
you.
Help everyone.
Lord help everyone that gets into dahlias, because once you start, you will not stop. I love that so much. I don't think there is a gap in flower farming in Oregon. There are a lot of smaller flower farmers. So if you really want to find them, they're there. So there's a lot of them here, which we hope to, connect with more this next year. Our schedules just got so crazy. But yes, there's definitely a lot of really wonderful flower farmers here in Oregon. So I wouldn't say there's a gap. In terms of Hispanic flower farmers, I don't know anybody specifically here in Oregon. However, I do know there's a lot of Hispanic farmers of produce. So there's a lot of really wonderful raspberry farms, like berry farms that we go to. And I think they're Hispanic owners. They're amazing. Let's see. We've met a couple of wholesale farmers that are Hispanic.
Ones that do just grafting and propagating of a lot of different things.
Right.
And then also like what I really appreciate are those like mini nurseries, you know.
Yeah.
It's like and I don't know if they live nearby or they live on the nursery, but since we like love driving around, we found we're just like we drive and we see beautiful trees and in pots, and then we pull over and you know what do you know, it's like somebody's little nursery that they have this business and they're selling things, and I love that.
Yeah.
It's so like, I don't know, is there a gap? Like
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I would love to see more of that.
Yeah, I would too. I think there's always room for, you know, people to have businesses like that, no matter where you're from. I think it's great. And everybody's so different in what they want to specialize in. So some of them have conifers, others have more perennials, others are really heavy with shrubs. So it's just fun to see what's out there. And like Sergey said, like we love to drive around, and that's how we like find all of these terrific farmers. And sometimes we can buy a tree from them. You know, I'm that weirdo that will like knock at the door. I'm like, hey, can I buy a tree from you? And most of the time, I would say every single time we've asked, it was a yes. So yes, I don't think there is a gap, at least not here in our area.
What was the last statement the user made?
Oh, I hope one day you can visit my hot mess of a garden. How about you guys come visit my hot mess of a garden?
No, I love that.
Everywhere.
No, I love that because as gardeners, I feel like we love doing what we're doing and we love sharing, but when to invite someone over is kind of scary, like,
yes,
because then they can really come in and have the true look.
You feel exposed
yeah,
almost.
you do.
Yeah.
And to get an invite, that's fun. Like,
it is fun.
I love that.
And it's funny because I think gardeners are excited to share their garden though. Like when we first did our Meet the Farmer, Meet the Gardener series, it was Sherry and Alan here, they're local. And we were just driving in this neighborhood and I saw this garden like from the side view, and I immediately like stop the car, and I was floored. So I ran out of the car, knocked on their door, and just was so excited to talk to them, asked if we can come back and film a garden tour. And that's really how the whole series started. And it was his idea too, because he knows how excited I am to meet people. Like I am a people person before anything. I love meeting people. It's like telling people's story. It's one of my favorite things. Like storytelling is one of my favorite things. And so to be able to do that is so exciting. So
I'm just like thinking of the first interaction with Alan. He was a jokester.
Oh yes.
You asked him and he was like, no, like
yeah.
this serious. And I was like, oh no, gardeners aren't friendly.
I know, we were like, uh-oh, are we in the wrong, did we get into the wrong thing?
Starts laughing and showing us like everything right away. And I was like, oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, it was so much fun. They're amazing. We need to go back and visit them. I really, really do miss them. All right, next question came from Darlene Cambria. And your question is, what's your favorite nursery to shop in your area? All right, get out a pen and paper because I'm going to tell you all of them. No, I think if we're talking about favorites, gosh, that's really hard to say just because I go to different nurseries for different things. I would say Farmington Gardens is like home base. They have everything. They have all of the beautiful trees and shrubs and perennials. A lot of it they grow themselves. So they have really everything. And they're really, really big. I love them. Bauman's, I think, probably has the best annual selection out of anybody that I've seen. If you want to go into more of like a smaller space but really beautiful plants, Dennis's 7Ds, the one in Lake Oswego, also the one in Cedar Hills is really beautiful. If you're local, you know those two areas. Let's see, if you want really special things, I think Cornell Farms is really good. They are a little bit more on the pricier sides, but you can find really beautiful specimens, I would say. But if we're just talking about like a place that I can go anytime that I love so much, I would say Christensen's in Washington, Skagit Valley.
Right, talking about Oregon or?
Well, they said around our area. That's not really around our area. It's about 4 hours away, but I will go there on a day trip. We have gone there.
As long as we don't have to pull over and take a nap, it's still considered around our area.
Yeah, we drive a lot. So So I think those will be my go-to that are public. Of course, there's places like Isley Gardens, but they're wholesale only, but they're, oh my gosh, I could just spend days and days there looking at all of the beautiful production plants and trees that they have. But in terms of garden centers that you all can go visit, those are going to be my picks and ones I recommend. Do you have any others that I didn't mention?
No, I mean, I really think Farmington is a lot of the good trees and a lot of the good stuff we got came from Farmington. Um, you can't go wrong with Farmington. Um, I and what I mean by that is like you can find the trees, you can find the annuals, perennials. They have great sales, and their holiday selection is pretty good too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Al's Garden Center is pretty good too, but I would say Farmington is like, they have more.
yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking from like the tree tree perspective. But then wow, yeah, Al's I found some really nice persimmons there, and I don't know, it's really kind of like that's the joy about having so many options. Like you have one place is known for one thing, and you kind of spend a day collecting.
Yeah, you do spend a day collecting. All right, next question is from Southern Breeze -99. If you could garden any place in the world, where would it be and why? That's easy. I would say the Cotswolds in England. I fell in love with the Cotswolds. Like, it was just the best, and I cannot wait to go back. I think I love their climate. It's very similar to ours here in the Pacific Northwest. So I could easily see myself like having a little cottage there with a ton of space just to grow a beautiful English garden. And I think I also love it so much just because gardening is like in their core in England, right? From like a very young age, it has a huge presence in everybody's lives. And it's like part of their life. It's not just something that they enjoy to do, but it's like in them. Kind of like soccer for Brazilian people, like it's in our blood. It's the same thing with gardening, I think, in England. And you feel that everywhere you go. So I think for me, that would be probably the place I would like dream of gardening. Also like on the French countryside, I've never been to France, but I would love to visit and see like how the climates are a little bit different. But yeah, England for sure would be like amazing. And I also just think the more we get into gardening, the more we just want that quiet life in the country. Like, I think we both are craving that. I love our neighborhood and I love our neighbors. I really do. I feel like we're so blessed and so lucky to live where we are and around the people that we do, because I know that makes a big difference. But I would love to have enough space where like my neighbor is like quarter mile, half mile down the road. Like things like that, I really, really crave in my life. So, and I feel like you see a lot of that in England, wouldn't you say? Like in the Cotswolds anyway, the English countryside. Next question from Kristen, H1708. Will you be doing a Christmas tree tour? Oh, friend, how I wish I could say yes for all of our trees that we have, but I think we are going to have a main tree which we're going to be, well, I guess it'll be a little bit of a surprise because we're still trying to figure that out. We are on schedule to have our contractors, we have 2 contractors coming next month, right, to paint the kitchen cabinets. We've been remodeling this house for like 3 years now. So they're coming to finish the cabinets. And then we have the tile guy coming in too, and then another paint guy. So we're kind of like shuffling things around. So I don't think putting a main tree in the main part of the house will be possible, but we are going to have a couple of trees and maybe a third. I don't know yet. But yeah, so when we do get them up, we will do like a tree tour, or we'll just bring you guys along as we're decorating them if you guys want to see that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously,
yeah,
a tree tour.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So yes, we will be doing a tree tour, and we're also going to be going to Lacey's house for Christmas and doing a whole tour of all of her Christmas decor, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, there are a lot of shuffling happening, and I it's not going to be conventional. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
But it's going to be fun
it's gonna be really fun. I'm very excited about it. So keep
because
your eyes out.
unlike the previous year, I don't want to just say no to Christmas
Right.
or
Yeah.
only have Christmas trees outside. No, no.
Right.
We will have a inside, outside, front, and back.
Front, back,
Yeah.
corner, garden, that bed, that bed.
I
Trees
mean, I might
everywhere.
just put one in the shed, so every time I go in there, I can smile.
You can smile. Put one in our bathroom. That would be fun.
I mean, I have gnomes in the bathroom right now, so
Christmas snows in the bathroom. So Sergey and I love Christmas so much, and so does Sergey. Like, we are like two children. We love Christmas so much, and I love Christmas gnomes. Like, I'm obsessed with them. I don't like gnomes any other time of the year, but Christmas gnomes, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with them. So every year, like in November, like November 1st, I will start putting little Christmas gnomes everywhere. So like in Sergey's office chair, or the other one I put right by the sink in our primary bathroom. And then like I just tuck them throughout. And every time like I put them somewhere, I will wait for Sergey's laugh. And then once I hear it, I'm like, yes, he saw it. And it makes me so happy. Like it genuinely makes my day when I hear his laugh because he found a gnome. And then we'll carry on conversations like, you'll never guess what happened. This little troll of a gnome showed up in my chair.
we're like I think we have a problem, and she's like, oh no, what happened? And obviously it's like impossible to hold in my lap, but I'm trying my best. I'm like, I think we have an infestation, like, or I think we have an intruder. Somebody came in the middle of the night. And we just like see how fast or how long we can keep this going until one of us breaks in laughter.
Yeah, it's really fun. All right, next question is from Stephanie Holderfield, 2475. And your question is, if I wanted to start a dahlia garden in my small backyard, how would you recommend I start if I'm completely new at gardening? I feel so inspired. Thank you. That's a good question. I've done a lot of videos on how to grow dahlias and plant dahlias. I'll link those videos down below in the description box so you can get a good start there. But the main thing is you want to make sure that you're planting them in an area that gets full sun, has well-draining soil. I usually plant our dahlias about 9 inches apart. If you're starting, I would recommend you do about a foot apart. If you want to grow for production, I like to grow them in rows, but you can also incorporate them into your landscape. You want to make sure that you also stake them up. Just because they do tend to flop. Make sure you have a good water source. So whether you have drip irrigation or you're going to hand water them, they like a deep, long watering. So you could water them maybe like 3 times a week. It just depends on your zone and how much sun you have. So I would start out there. And then if you have more like specific questions, let me know down below and I can answer those for you. But look at some of the videos I'm going to link for you because I really go into detail about every little thing. So I think I cover everything in those videos.
No, like I think you covered everything perfect. But like one thing or a couple things I want to reiterate is right, the drainage, right? So having like some sort of raised bed, just a little bit, like a dedicated space, right? But if you have a small garden, you might only have room for 1 or 2 smaller beds. Do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also don't be shy of tucking them into the landscape.
Right.
I think that's kind of like, yeah, you know, Claudia's got what 1, 2, 3, 4 dahlia specific beds
Mm-hmm.
that are 4 by 16 feet. That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
But you'd
be surprised how many I can grow in there.
Yes, but you know, it's one of those things like, what child is your favorite? You can't just say like, okay, well, these I'm simply not going to grow this year. So what do? We put them in their landscape, and that way you get to enjoy them. That way you can see like their growth pattern. Like, so don't shy away from like limiting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I sound like a enabler right now. I apologize. Don't limit yourself. Don't hold back, because it's all about trying.
Yeah.
Seeing what works, what you like.
Yeah. Like, P.S. We are plant enablers, so We're always going to tell you, plant more dahlias, plant more trees. Next question from Paula X1G 9W. Your question is, when and if you do move, how will you decide which plants and trees to take and which ones to leave behind? I think a lot of our potted things are going to go with us. So our potted trees will definitely go with us. We will probably take the Shishigashira Lion's Head Maple, the one in the front. We'll take that for sure. In terms of perennials, I probably won't take perennials. I don't think there are any shrubs that I really, really love that I would take. Maybe a couple of roses. All of my dahlias are obviously coming with me. Let's see. What other trees would we take?
A good number of the maples,
Yeah,
I think.
I would say so.
But I think the better question is, what should someone do if they're going to be moving, but they also want to take their plants with them?
Right.
Buy 2 of everything.
Buy 2.
Really, I mean, it might get expensive, but it'll be worth it because you get to enjoy it in the ground and then in a pot, and then take the one in the pot.
We're only partially kidding. Next question from Jasmine Louise for all. Your question is, what does your dream home and garden look like? How much time do you have?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
That's a loaded question. You know, it's funny because I think I used to really be into like the whole farmhouse aesthetic, which I feel like is when you guys do, when we do finish everything, you will see the inside of our house and everything like that. And we'll, you know, do videos on that. But I think I'm more into of a traditional home style now, like a crown molding, things like that. So like in the future, I think I would go more of a traditional vibe. In terms of our house, I do love home design so much. Like it's right up there with gardening for me. I really do love home design, anything home related. So you guys might see more content like that if you want, let me know. But yeah, anything home related, designing, decorating, hosting, all of that, I really love. And I really want to share more of that with you guys, especially when our house is complete. And then in terms of garden, we just want more space. Like I want to be able to scale up in terms of our production in dahlias. I want to be able to just grow all of the trees I've ever dreamed about. So I don't know how many acres that's going to be. I think we have a number in mind, but honestly, we keep our eyes open to see what's going to be available in the areas that we do really love and would love to move to and find and build our forever home. So I think that's really up in the air, but I think more traditional style in terms of the home, and then the garden, just plenty of space. It'd be great to even have like raw land. That way we can develop it from like the ground up. That would be fun. But yeah, just enough space to have a big barn, our home. I don't really care about having a huge house. I really don't. But enough space, like a barn and maybe like a guest spot for family and friends to come to. And then just a ton of space to grow all of the things we want. What about you?
A little bit more simpler. Okay. The basics. I like wood. I like concrete. I like metal. So what is the first thing that comes to your mind? A shop. Like, you know, I joke around often with this, but I don't know, something is so like peaceful having a shop where I can have like a table, I can have a couch, my grill, my grills, and I don't know, like I remember, you know, back in the day, or back in the day,
like 6 years ago.
You know, we talked about this many times, like that we liked city living, kind of like modern.
Gosh, what were we thinking?
I appreciate all that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm really liking the kind of simple, open, just peaceful. I think simple is peaceful.
Yeah. Like I think, yeah, I agree. And I just, again, just having more space to do a ton of projects. garden projects especially. But that could be like a whole video though. We could really get into that. Let's see. Izzy Hendricks, 2651. Are you selling dahlia tubers this year, please? I would love to sell dahlia tubers this next year. So once we start digging up our dahlias, I'm going to see how they store. We are doing a lot of prep work in order to sell our tubers. So I will make sure to announce that when the time comes, but it'll probably be closer to like late winter when usually some of those dahlia sales happen. So stay tuned. I am going to try my very best, and also depending on how our tuber production and storage goes. So yes, I would love to do that.
Guys, if she fails to do the tuber sale this year, I will have tubers for sale. Okay, I got a connection. I'm looking at it right there. So I will let you know too, okay? I won't let you down.
I won't let you down. No pressure, Sergey. Let's see. Lindsay41141 asks, hi guys, love your channel. How did you come up with the garden design bed? Or sorry, how did you come up with the garden bed design? Is there a resource that we can look up to, or was it purely just your ideas? Would love a bird's eye view or drawing. So thank you for that question. So we actually did a whole video, which I will link down below for you in the description box, of the whole garden design. This was not, this was just us. Like, this is what we came up with. We're not designers by any stretch of the imagination, but we know what we like, and we like beautiful things, and we like to make our space beautiful. I wanted to have a cut flower garden that would allow me to grow in a production style like a farm, but within a garden setting. And I think I will always be like that. Like, even if I have a whole acre to grow flowers on one day, it's still going to feel like a garden, because gardening and like flower farming, they go hand in hand for me. So it's always going to be that type of style, I think, in my mind. And I just wanted to have really low beds, that way I can see through, and again, have that farm feel, but in a production style, but still in almost like a formal setting, because although it's not a formal garden, it does have formality with the straight lines and how we just use metal edging around all of the beds. And then we use, what are they, 4x6s for the wood for the beds, and they're very shallow. So that's kind of like the idea behind it. And then we wanted to create a diverse border in terms of around our entire property line. And that's what we did with all of the trees, evergreens, and things like that. So now we're just kind of adding in more shrubs and perennials and annuals, ground cover, etc. But again, I will link down below our cut flower garden design and what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, as you're, saying, kind of like the idea behind everything, but I'm just like, reflecting on what did we have before? We
tore out this entire garden, by the way. Like, this started out as a blank slate.
But before that,
yeah,
we had those like 2x14 boards that we made. We boxed out to make the beds out of, and I mean that served a purpose, right? But it looked a little too, I don't know, like too intense.
Yeah,
and I like that how you said, make it like a conventional farm, but also more of like organized, or like a designed garden.
Yeah.
And then what we also had like just a field where we tilled. We laid down fabric. We cut holes in the fabric. We had things growing out of that. So we kind of tried everything, and this is the best.
Yeah, I think this worked out the best for us. Yeah. I think if this was going to be my forever home, I would have done things a little bit differently, because I would have obviously invested into having like a greenhouse, and then creating beds around it, creating maybe like a fire pit out here. Definitely probably reduce the grass space that we do have. So I would have done...
Wait, what? Those are fighting words.
Those are fighting words. Yeah. In the grass back
How about we reduce some dahlia space?
Never, ever. So yeah, I would have done things differently, and I think I kind of talked about that. He's shaking his head. If had this been our forever home. Oregon Yardning asks, hi, I admire your dahlia collection so much. Wondering if you will be selling your tubers. Would Love to support a fellow garden friend if possible, and would love to have some from your collection. So yes, we will be trying really, really hard to do that, like we answered before. And thank you so much for wanting to be so supportive. Like, I don't think Sergey and I will ever be thankful enough for all of your guys' support. It's truly been the biggest blessing for us. So I hope you guys know just how much your support means to us and all of the love that you guys show us.
Just the comments.
Yeah,
The
just
comments,
the comments
alone are the
right.
best.
And
Yeah.
we read every single comment. Sometimes I don't get to them right away, but we do read every single comment, and it really like touches us more than you guys probably know. All right, so next question is from Carol Villanova, 488. I live in Washington County, Oregon, and love to garden. Where do you normally shop for plants? Love your garden, by the way, Miss Claudia. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we already answered this question. So all of the nurseries I mentioned before, I think those are the ones that you should check out. Next question from MJ Chavera, sorry, 4197. Looking forward to the Q&A question. What are your plans for 2026 for the garden? And do you also plant vegetables? So I think we do want to talk more a little bit in detail about what our plans are. So maybe we can do that at a different time. And then we are going to be planting more vegetables. We do a lot of tomatoes. We're kind of like tomato wizards. I don't want to brag, but our tomatoes are the best.
My tomatoes are the best.
Sergey's tomatoes are the best.
And the plans for 2026, start over.
We're always
Keeping it
that.
simple, start over. But it will definitely be its own video. We need to dedicate a video just to that because we both have a lot of ideas.
For sure. Next question from Violet Through Gardens. Question, are you guys actually considering moving to Washington State anytime soon? Question 2, would you get a greenhouse at your current home, or is that a plan for a future property? Yes, we are definitely serious about moving to Washington soon. Like the sooner the better. It just really depends on how the stars align.
Do you have land and house for us?
Yeah, do you have a spot for us? Because we can come immediately. So yeah, the sooner the better. But we just haven't found that space yet, and things are just not aligned yet. I think if we found a place here in Oregon that gave us that same happy feeling that we get in some parts of Washington that we really love, we could potentially find our forever home here in Oregon. But I think Washington is like where our heart is right now. So we'll just see how things turn out. And then in terms of a greenhouse, I would love to have a greenhouse here. I
did tell you a few videos ago, I am buying you a greenhouse this year.
But an ornament doesn't count. I want like an actual greenhouse.
Tomato.
Tomato. I'm not gonna say no, but I do think I have a greenhouse in mind and like what that would look like. So maybe that is something that goes into a future garden, but I'm not going to say, no, it's never going to happen in this garden, because you just never know.
I have the perfect place for it.
Where would you put it?
Start over. Imagine this, right there in the corner, the greenhouse facing on an angle, not like parallel with the fence. Right. No, coming straight out of our house, like this direction. Rearrange all the beds around it. So like it's an introduction. And then right in front, like over here somewhere, you have like a fire pit.
Oh, wow. Okay, vision.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready.
You just give me the greenhouse.
You just give us the money, and then we're ready to put a greenhouse in.
Like I know we spent a lot of time and love into everything.
Yeah. But if a greenhouse landed on our lap, we would make it happen. Yeah. Next question comes from Miss D Garden KB4YG. Your question is, you grow so many beautiful things and your gardens are so pretty. My question is about dahlias and your purpose for growing so many. Is it because you just love them and use them for your own flower purposes or arrangements and gifts? Do you sell them to any florist or to others, or want to have a flower stand? Or, I love this question, or could it just be that it's for the purpose of YouTube channel and or to multiply tubers for future sale? One of the later videos I saw at the end of the season, there are so many beautiful dahlias still standing, more than I could ever grow in my small yard. I wanted to come and cut them all down and take them home. LOL. Thank you for answering questions.
No. I got this
But
one.
wait, can I just say something?
But it will be more authentic if I get to answer this question, okay? Because you're going to sugarcoat it, okay?
No, I'm not. I have a real answer.
I will give a couple examples, okay? Depending on who knows what. Pokemon, okay? Or baseball collector cards. Whatever your vibe is, okay? That's what dahlias are to Claudia. She's got to collect them all of them. Yeah. You want to add to that?
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure I nailed it.
No, so I love dahlias so much. Like, we just had our first frost, and I literally came out here. I cried, and I was like, okay, the season is over. Because it impacts me that much, because I love them that much. They are such a huge part of my life. It's where I start and end my days during the growing season. I love dahlias so much. Like, I can't get enough of them. The goal is to scale up and grow more and sell tubers. So that's why I grow so many. And I also just want to grow all of the unicorns and specialty variety and make them more available to you guys. So I don't want it to be it like an exclusive thing, right? I want to be able to grow some of these beautiful varieties, and not only the new beautiful ones, because there's a lot of like old and tried true ones like Chewy that I think a lot of people forget, but it's such a great dahlia. So I think for all of those reasons, I don't necessarily do it just because of YouTube, because I'm always just going to do what I love and hope that you guys love it. But it is to, scale up. I did sell bouquets of flowers at work this year, which was one of the happiest days of my life, because I didn't know how many people would want to buy my flowers, and so many people wanted to buy them, and it was the happiest moment. It was a lot of work to juggle everything, but it worked. And then having a flower stand, yes, I would love to have one. The goal was to have one this year. We didn't get around to it, but I did sell bouquets, which was the goal, and I did. So very happy about that. Okay, next question comes from Caitlin Crow 138, and your question is, I love how much you love dahlias and cut flowers. I'm also obsessed with growing cut flowers, especially dahlias. How are you storing overwintering your dahlia tubers this year? We'll probably do a video on that, so stay tuned for that. I also have other videos from the past that I'll link down below of how we divide and store our dahlias. I really go into like mega detail about all of those things. So I will link down that video below for you, but we will be doing that again this year. Okay, next question is from Toes ROV. What do you do professionally, and how long have you been married? What made you get interested in gardening initially? So I think we covered pretty much all of that before. Gosh, we got married really young, like right out of high school. So we're coming up on 18 years. And let's see, being together. And yeah, I think, again, gardening just started out as like something to save me. I was so lost, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was going through this huge career change in my life, and I wanted to be a dentist since I was 8 years old. No, 13 years old, I think. Yeah, I think I was like 13 years old is when I went to get braces, and I fell in love with dentistry then. And then just to have like a major change, in my interest in life and profession, it was just very hard. And I felt really lost at that time. So gardening, that's how we really got into gardening. And then this is our first garden. So this is like the first home we've ever purchased that is our own, and we get to do whatever we want. So that's what we did. We started remodeling the house. We completely remodeled the garden. We brought you guys along for that. We started from nothing. We leveled this garden completely front and back. So yeah. Last question is from Allie, the Midnight Gardener. What does your work-life balance look like? Not great. Having a regular job in YouTube, how do you divide your time? I've always wanted to do more, but at the same time, I feel a lot of burnout from my regular job. Well, that's a big question too, because burnout is very real, so I completely understand. It's a real thing. I would say, like, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I think between both like our jobs, I would say we work close to 70 hours a week, like really getting the garden ready, doing projects, filming, editing, responding to comments, talking to you guys on social media, answering emails, like all of that really does add up. So it's a tremendous amount of work, I will not lie. There are nights where I feel like I'm gonna cry because I'm so tired, because a lot of nights I do go to bed like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm editing. I like to edit my own videos. But I think the thing that keeps me going is you guys, like all of your support, watching our videos, commenting, subscribing, like all of that means so much, because it does take a tremendous amount of work to do what we do. I don't think I could do what I do without Sergey. That is a huge help. Having your partner with you to help you getting set up with the cameras, getting, you know, if I need certain carts or tools or something like that, like Sergey will help get ready. Like today, he helped me get the table ready, bring out, you know, everything that I needed to make this arrangement, and like getting the cameras ready. All of that is a huge effort. So I think it's definitely a team effort for sure. And the days that I feel really tired, which yes, it does happen, but I just tell myself, how lucky am I that I get to do what I love? And so that keeps me going. Like I'm tired because I get to do what I love. And so that makes a big difference. But yes, having an amazing husband who supports your dreams, or a partner like that, that really helps out. Did you have anything to add on to that?
Just let me continue buying my fancy little plants, okay? And I'm happy to help.
Great. Love that. And the grill.
How did I forget? Thank you for reminding me.
The grill.
You just fuel my habits, I fuel your habits.
That's right. That's right. I love that. Anyways, that will wrap up our Q&A. We would love to do more of these, and we can make it more garden related, whatever you guys like. So let us know if you liked today's video. Any other last thoughts? Or we can
talk about what steaks I like to grill.
Do you want to have like your own video that's just like a steak or like a grilling guide with Sergey in the garden?
Or grilling in the garden with Sergey. There you go.
Grilling in the garden with Sergey. I love that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for submitting all of your questions and for hanging out with us today. We hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.